All right, we're recording our Lionsgate Thothic perspective on August 6th, 2017. I'm not an astrologer, but I went up and Googled a little bit just to get 2 or 3 lines so we're all on the same page as to what apparently, astrologically speaking, the Lionsgate is about. The annual 8/8 Lionsgate occurs on August 8th, and it is the time of year when our planet aligns with star Sirius and the galactic center. Adding to the magic is a lunar eclipse at 15 degrees Aquarius, just hours before on August 7th. Lunar eclipses affect the emotional body. Well, that's all I got from that. Now, where Thoth is going with this is somewhere else, not contradicting this, but just, somewhere else. But I wanted to it has different phases of understanding, because it's not just about this astrological period that we're going through. First of all, this particular one has a very specific, something is going to very specifically happen that hasn't happened before, or at least in a very, very long time. That's one thing we're going to address. So it's not just that it's another Lionsgate, it has a specific thing. And I have to say, looking on Googling a little bit just to see, try to get some astrological information of what I just read here, I found a lot of people's channelings and stuff on it. I mean, I didn't read them all, I just saw them out there and I glimpsed here and there, and it's obvious that a lot of people are getting a lot of things. I don't know, I haven't read them all or anything, but I'm sure that every Lionsgate must bring through a lot of different dynamics, that are kind of singular, or in a sense singular to that particular time in the planet when that Lionsgate comes open. So I imagine that's true for all of them. But I'm just addressing what Thoth has given me to address, and that is this specific thing that's going on with it and what always goes on with it, the two things together. But in order to understand that, because that's really just a punchline, I wanted to bring you up to date on this whole thing. We have Sirius is a main focal point for all this, and of course there's Rigel, and there is the Eye of Ra, and which is in the trapezium, and it literally, the Eye of Ra is that opening that really blows our universe into the holographic perspective. We create the hologram in the sense of how it moves and how it is structured. We affect it, let's say, we affect it strongly, but the actual template for it, shall we say, or platform for it, is brought through what Thoth calls the Eye of Ra, from the trapezium and in the Orion Nebula. So even though that's not directly in the picture of of the Lionsgate, it really is, because the 3 cosmic points that are forming our cosmic reality for Earth and for its universal perspective is Rigel and its whole Orion presence, the Pleiades, and Sirius. He started talking to me about that probably in the 1980s, and he called it the Starplex. A lot of what I've received back then, I really didn't have too much of a handle on. I mean, I don't pretend to now, but at least I know a little bit more about it than I did then. But that's when he started addressing the triplex, as he called it. So first I'm going to start with, Sirius is really the main engine here for what we're going to be discussing, that and actually the galactic center of our galaxy. But Sirius is the repository of karma, the balancer between Rigel, the blue star Rigel, and the Earth. And Rigel is that point or node that created the first migrations to Earth, and the main guardians of Earth come from Rigel. But Rigel, of course, is one star in the whole Orion constellation, and the nebula of Orion is the major place where the whole dynamic of this universal spectrum issues forth. So I want to read something I wrote. It's very brief. In July 2004. When I placed my article on the Syrian Lord Menon in the New Immortals section of Spirit Mythos the other day, I did not know that Sirius was soon to be rising in our skies. The next morning, Simeon made me aware of this. It explained my feeling of such power and emanations coming from Sirius through Menon, that this being was present for the earth at this time, allowing his supernal body to stream the energies of Sirius toward us. This was the feeling I had as I did Menon's portrait. After I was alerted to the truth of Sirius rising, I read the recent 2 newsletters of Quantum Awakening by Gillian Macbeth Luthan. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. Probably many of you know about her. She does great work, and she has the most beautiful crystals that she sells. I have a few. I resonate completely with what she writes concerning the Syrian emanations. Her Lion Gate article is so appropriate with the solar lords of Sirius in mind, which is Menon's heritage. You will notice in the artwork I did of Menon that he wears a golden brooch of a 3-headed lion. This is the emblem of the Threefold Gate of the Telosakara. This gate brings the 3 teleplanes together that form our universe. Sirius is the threshold for the Trigate of our universe. So the Telosakara is a capstone, not really a capstone. There's not this big capstone sitting up out there, but it is a capstone of energy that has been placed by high ultra beings. I imagine the ones from Sirius, the lion-headed lords from Sirius, the sun lords, over the Eye of Ra. It's done so to keep it in balance because there was a tear there. The Eye of Ra, that was almost like the cornea, has been torn off. Thoth never has given me the story about that. And if I ask, he goes, not now. So I've never gotten the story, but it is torn. And so the capstone fits over that. And many functions happen through that. We're going to get to that in a minute because it's all very part of what we're going to be going through with the Lionsgate. So, where am I? Menon's supernal energy bodies are riding the crest of the Syrian wave. His presence among us now is just one of the power fields opening to the planet since the Venus transit in June. Remember, this is 2004 that I wrote this. The star capstone frequency is shifting the Earth's envelope of space-time. The indigo and violet rays are forming a helix through the star capstone into our DNA, creating a new, for this planet, ray, which reaches us in a brilliant orange gold vibration. This new ray Thoth is referring to as the Sha'Maia-NEAAF, the ray of recalibrating ancient energy paths in the body so that they open fully to new orientation with the divine. The Pure Gem vehicle, that's our Pure Gem new Earth bodies, is now able to begin forming from the orange gold Sha'Maia-NEAAF ray. As the star capstone beams, As the star capstone beam shifts the space-time corridor to a different facet of possibility, the 2 master rays of indigo and violet dance together to birth their child, the orange gold Samantha, sort of like Samantha. To quote from Gillian Macbeth Luthan in issue 66 of Quantum Awakening. Now, this is quoting from Gillian now. The star Sirius rises in helical fashion sometime between June 23rd and August 1st, 2004, depending on your longitude and latitude. This rising is associated with new thought, new light, and new beginnings. It rises before the sun purposefully after being in stellar hiding for about 70 days. Sirius houses the Great White Brotherhood, the Lemurian elders, as well as the Christ consciousness and a bevy of highly evolved beings. The announcement of her arrival comes as a key to unlock a very old door that is newly painted and positioned. This door enters into a room that humanity as a whole has never been comfortable experiencing. It is now time to come from a point of high solar vibrations and allow this new light to shine on places within the psyche in history of Earth that needs cleansing. We stand at the base of the mountain of creational maturity of our sojourn home to light. Everything in the universe opens its cupboards to show what has been hidden on all of its shelves, finally embracing and acknowledging the creational maturity of the people of the earth. It is a personal choice as to how to wear this energy and wisdom. It has been laid at your anointed feet with great love by those that had taken all of your evolutionary possibilities to heart. That's really beautiful and powerful. And even though it was written in 2004 and certainly applied to then, it applies to what's coming up now, and you'll see how it does as I move along here. Okay, now I'm going to go to a very old, yellowed issue of Temple Doors. It's the 1, 2, 1993. It's a double issue, 1 and 2 of 1993. And I want to read you about the Telosakara. Now, this was when I originally received the information about it. And it's interesting because I didn't remember this. I was looking, I knew I don't have much about it really. I have little blurbs about, a lot of little blurbs about it on the web, on my webs, but not the body of information. I thought, well, I know, let me look and see where I first wrote it and what I said. And this is really not that much information. So I didn't realize that he hadn't given me very much, but this is it. And I also didn't realize that it was prompted, and I'm sure there's no coincidence here. Thoth is very crafty, but it was prompted by a dream my dear friend, who's still my dear friend, Monica Leal had. And we were both in Texas together at the time. And she had a dream. And so in the dream, she saw something, and that prompted Thoth to start talking about the Telosakara. And that's where it came from. But I think it was all planned. I think he gave her the dream and it opened the door. Why not come directly to me? But maybe that's something Monica needed to experience as well, obviously. So Thoth is saying, Telosakara is a teleplane repository for synergistic systems operating between the three universes. Can everybody please turn off their mics? Thank you. And thus the three millenniums. First, we shall define these terms for you. Now, before I get to this, millennium does not mean, in Thoth's jargon here, when he's talking about it, it does not mean 100 years. It's very confusing, but it means something else. So we'll get to that. First, we're going to describe the teleplane. Teleplane is a dimensional moving selah. It is a point of definition or centering that is not stationary in time-space, but moves between subjective realities. It teleports information from one reality to another. This is a natural condition very necessary to support the universal continuum. There are many teleplanes, although this is one of the major distinctions in importance. And then it says, see Omicron and Heliomar later in this text. Three universes are the three types of reality structuring. Many years ago, you were given a more specific information on this. So in this study, we will limit our definition to the above statement. These three matrices define the laws of space and time, as well as interdimensional interaction. Now, the three millenniums, as we have given you much information on this as well, so we will simply say here that these are three fields of time event that are intrinsically one, yet have become separated karmically in the course of human destiny. These three millenniums are confined to the Earth's realities and not universal in nature. And now, Telosakara is, as we have said, a repository which is positioned on the teleplane, linking various realities related to Earth's scroll, or spiritual time progression. It forms synergistic connections between Cydonia on Mars, which we are calling the dwelling place of the Lords, the Great Pyramid Complex in Egypt, Temples of the Lion, the Rennes-le-Château in France. The Temples of the Lion, I believe he's referring to the Sekhmet temples, which I just did a special video series on. The Rennes-le-Château in France, the cornerstone of Kneber, in what is known historically as Nineveh, the Chamber of the Seven Seals of the Sinai, and now that the gates have been opened, it can once again access the ascended Isle of Ruta. The Telesakara accesses all sacred centers of Earth, but these are the major templates which connect and feed through it. Easter Island is terminator on Earth, more in this text. Okay. Then I ask, you say that it is a repository. What does this repository store? The light mathematic harmonics for the hierarchical plan of Earth. It is difficult to put into words you would be able to understand at this point, but it is in essence the codings for the doctrine of signature of Earth. It might be easier to comprehend it musically. A piece of classical music would contain instructions throughout, telling the musician how to express the notes as he plays them. The Symphony of Earth has these instructions as well, which are contained in the Telesakara. It was created in the first millennium by the Melchizedekian lords. Those are Venusian of nature. Its prime threshold and activator into your second millennium dimension is located at Sidonia, the dwelling place of the lords. Within the Telesakara resonates the codings for the DNA crystallix of Earth's life forms. From this crystallix arises the definitions of the cycle of mankind's time on Earth before the ascension of the planet, or the LP40, which are 20 in number. You will find yourself within the 19th cycle now. Now, this was back a ways. Remember, this is 1993. These can be found accurately represented. I said that. No, I didn't. These can be found accurately represented in the Mayan star glyphs, which are 20 in number. They are arranged sequentially, correct in the Mayan oracle by Ariel Spilsbury, which are 20 in number. They are arranged, sequentially correct in the Mayan oracle. Thus, the world finds itself now under the star shield of Kuak. Purification, transformation, reunion, light body, activation for ascension, thunder being, lightning path, initiation by fire, ecstasy by freedom. The totem being is the white owl, with the thundercloud and lightning being symbols of empowerment. Royal purple is the color. The most vibrationally accurate crystal is sugilite. It goes on with this about that period, but I believe that with December 2012, we entered the 20th cycle, or somewhere in that domain. We're either in the 20th cycle or we're nearly within it. It's like the crossover point. So that's all of that. I'm going to read one more little bit here, and I'll now move on. I ask, please explain the genetic family relations between the lion beings of Sirius, the Bashat, which is something that lady wrote that book about. I can't think of her name now, and she called them that. The guardians of the guardian crystals, the Christos, and the logos imprinters known as the Zumir. Also, how does Menon and the Enochian masters, well, I'm not going to go into that. Okay, but the explanation of these different categories of lion beings. This is important for the Lion Gate. The Christos are a blend of Bashat lion ones and the crystal people. They work in guardian capacity, involving the exchange of energy between mineral and animal kingdom. Then we go to the Zumir, are created from the Bashat and the human race of Sirius. So here we get the Zumir. The Sirius contains 3 race forms and thus race spirits: human, lion, cat-like, and reptile. Now, these aren't the bad guy reptilians, okay? These are good guy reptilians. They are each within their own dimension, but at certain nodes can interact. They are all of a positive energy field. There's the element of redemption involved, however, as they are part of the fire received through the fallen gate. Yet this fire is in of itself a pure flame. Now, this is really important, where I'm trying to get to with all of us here about what's going to be happening with this Lion's Gate, because Sirius is a very highly spiritual, evolved state of being. It holds equal importance to the whole Ryan, Rigel, and all of that. It is, but it's also of importance because it helps transduce, it helps change and modifies. I will speak at, or Thoth will in a minute, the fallen energies. Shouldn't use the word fallen. He doesn't like that. I should use the word, well, trapped energies. So it has this aspect of it that you might go, oh, because it deals with karma of the earth. It's like a vacuum cleaner though, and it cleans and works with it. So you can be under an aspect of Sirius that is really coming down on you, and you're going, oh my God, I'm feeling all of these challenges and everything, and it could be serious, really acting seriously in your field. But what it's doing is working to elevate you, to clear that, to bring it out of the system, to literally suck it out of the pores. Then you get into the white flame of Sirius, and that's where a lot of magic happens. So we're going to get that at in a moment, but this line indicates that. I don't think I'm going to, let's see, go on. Okay, yes, here, I need to read this part. Beyond the fallen gate that the Bashat guard, as they are among the threefold of the guardians of this gate, you will find the lords of twilight, but this is another realm. It is within the first millennium and is more ancient than any other creation realm in the universe. It is the Heliomar. This is the realm that contains the Eye of Ra, flung into the abyss by Set. The Heliomar is the Eye of Ra. The archetype Sekhmet, the lion one, is the vanquisher, declared deliverer of the Eye of Ra. She is the other half of Hathor, the receiver, imparter, reconciler, whose temple city adorned the mountain then known by the Egyptians as Hathor-Metis in the Sinai. It is not the mountain of Moses' encounter with the burning bush or the Ark of the Covenant. Both these sacred events occurred on Mount Sinai as it is identified today, but it was the Hathor-Metis that Menon was the master priest in his labyrinth beneath the temple. He was the hidden priest. Returning to the Heliomar, this is the realm beneath the footrest of the Lord, the fallen gate. It is not a part of the abyss of fallen light. It is isolated from all time and space, and therefore not in contradiction with either light or darkness. It is the center of the throne, the missing gem of the crown of Lucifer, and as we have said, the Eye of Ra, Ra, Solis, Osiris, and Horus. It is the gem of that consciousness. In the Heliomar, there are the lion forms we shall call the Sun Lords. These beings are not physical as the Bashats and their hybrids, the Christos and the Zumir. They are more Davic angelic. The domestic cats, the large cats, and most supremely the lion are Davic manifestations of these greater forms stemming through the Bashats and to the Sun Lords. Remember that all is one. Thus a human form, a lion form, and even a reptilian form are all part of the same energy. The Sun Lords work with interdimensional fields to supply the center gemstone ray, uniting the three crucibles, first, second, and third millenniums. The lion ones are always guardians, whether it is of knowledge, wisdom, elementals, or time. They are also in certain capacity guardians of the human race. So I want to go back for just a moment to make this clear for people not familiar with my work that might listen to this, since this is going out to everyone. When we speak of reptilians, we are not speaking of the little Lizzie guys that are kind of giving us trouble and have been way amplified beyond what they're really doing. We're speaking of a race of beings that are the dragon lords, and they're very supreme and beautiful and wonderful and just very perfect as far as we're concerned. So I want to make that clear. Also, when I mention Lucifer, I'm not talking about Lucifer. I'm not putting Lucifer as a fallen lord up on a pedestal. I'm speaking about an energetic, and the energetic was united with the Christic ray before it was separated from that ray and came down into experience that is very, what is the word that I want to use here? Very polarized. And it's not evil as we understand evil, but it is something that draws us to recreate ourselves in this half-light orotronic realm and sort of breathe in what Thoth calls the archonic cloud. So you can get some really negative stuff going on when you bring it down into all those facets, Yeah, then you find the bad stuff. But I'm not talking about that in this art or anything that Thoth speaks of the Luciferic ray as it was in the higher universes. So I wanted to make that clear for those. that might be listening to this. Okay, so now I have something I want to show you. So I have to do a share screen, and let's see if I can bring it up here. Can everybody see this? Nod of heads, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, I just made this yesterday with Thoth's guidance. He wanted me to make this medallion to personify what he's speaking about here. And he called it the Syrian Trifecta. Well, it was kind of funny to me because I went, trifecta? Doesn't that have something to do with horse racing? And I looked it up, and actually, well, it does, but it also, what it truly means is 3 things or more brought together that personify one another, that create the perfect something, you know? And so it's certainly a good word that he chose for what he's going to be talking about here. The Syrian Trifecta is the bringing together of the Syrian nodal frequency with the Pleiadian harmonic and the Regilian blue fire. In this trifecta is found the perfect balance of this universe's elixir. Sirius draws off the excess energies from the eye of Ra through what we will call here the Sekhmet Gate, for it embodies the dynamic of this energy form. When what you are calling the Lion's Gate is opened, the Sekhmet power streams through into galactic center of Earth's galaxy and crowns this planet with the white fire of Sirius. The Syrian flame then takes breath from the lungs of Ra and draws in the stagnant energy forms of the planet, sweeping them into the fires of purification. The obvious question you would have at this point, why then does the Earth continue to experience such a fractured reality if such a dynamic repeats over and over? After the inhale must come the exhale. The souls of Earth as a collective power are a magnetic tribe. They continue to recreate, exhale, that which they fear and cling to from the stored memory of the DNA. Yet they have the power to turn the switch off, to accept the full blessing of the Syrian white flame. Once the frequency of the 144,000 is reached upon the Earth, of those who cancel the recreation of this dynamic, this continuing this magnetic memory form, the power enters the planetary genius of Gaia, where it then spreads through the La Shankara lotus, which is the pyramidus radius matrix. It is not a matter of all humans on the planet accepting this flame. This will not occur, but those who do will create together a wave of light which frees them from the Syrian snare and offers them up into the Syrian white flame of purification. This is the balance of the Syrian Trifecta. And now, with this special Lion's Gate, so the temples of Sekhmet will begin to activate once again on the planet, inclusive of the new ones, beginning August 8th and completed sometime in December of 2019. The opening of these Templaric nodes will allow the trifecta to dwell within the temples for those who are drawn to receive it. Who among you might carry this flame forward into the world? Well, I'm going to switch back. This beautiful symbol here that Thoth gave me, I'm going to be putting it into the portal for those who wish to have it large. You can print it off pretty big, even if you wanted to put it on your wall. It has the imprint, the image, the energy consciousness of the trifecta, which is really attempting to become one in your inner being, the bringing together of the balance of the whole. And so it augments the receiving of the pure white flame of Sirius. What he's really saying here that's different is that even though every year the Lion's Gate brings the pure white flame and the exhale, the inhale and the exhale, and all these things go on every year, we just keep recreating our magnetic reality instead of receiving the full breath. But this year, because the Sekhmet temples are coming online again, and this is a whole topic that has to do with the videos I just made. But because they're coming back online, and the new ones are developing as well, that I wrote about way back in 1992 or 3 or 4 or something. Because of that, the Syrian white flame will remain with the earth, sequestered in these temples, not real temples, not temples like we understand. And when Thoth says temple, there might be a temple built atop it, but what he's talking about is a node. It could be out in the middle of the wilderness where nobody even sees it, but it's a node that forms what he calls a templaric field. So accessing these temples, or one or more of them, and you don't have to physically go to these places. That would be nice, but you don't have to do that. It's part of your own inner experience. And he's saying that with this Lion's Gate, the flames are going to be lit in all these temples, these nodes on the planet. They're not going to just springboard through every heart on the planet. I wish they could. But we keep that from happening in our own selves through our magnetic reliving of these old forms. So individually, each one of us can choose to start aligning to these gates, or temples of Sekhmet. And you don't have to have all the lingo or anything. It's just moving into them in your own heart centered being and receiving the Syrian flame, which is now going to be stationed on the earth in this manner for us to receive. It can't be spread out all over because humanity is not offering it a place to do that. But it can be found in these nodes, which are part of the nodes of the human experience. So individually, people who are ready for this can tap into that. And the flame is waiting for you. And not just one place, but all these places, which means all these types or formations of consciousness, because each one represents a different aspect of that. So this is the most exciting thing, I feel, of the whole picture. I'm going to bring us back online here. Let me see how I do that. Here, stop share. There we are. So I'm going to take a breather, and I'd like to hear from anyone. Just raise your hand, and okay, we have Donna, the lion lady. Yes, Donna. Whoops, yes, come online for us. Oh, there you are.
Sorry, press the wrong button.
Yes, okay.
I'm an hour from Brisbane, and you, through Thoth Streaming, has said that there's a Sekhmet temple an hour from Brisbane.
That's right.
Can we somehow sort of explore that, because I might be able to either print out the aereo packs or the one that you've just made and take it close to. I mean, for all I know, it might be in the middle of the ocean or something like that. But
yeah. Well, we'll do that, Donna, but not right on this.
No.
I will get with you before. Somehow I'll get information to you before the 8th, which is coming. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll look at it. If I have the energy, I'll do it today or early tomorrow morning.
Yep, great. Thank you, Maya.
It would be wonderful if you could participate in that way and then share it with us. Experience.
Yeah. I actually printed out the aereo packs and put it in our yard.
Yeah.
And I've got a great big chunk of quartz crystal, and I only did it last week. And underneath the quartz crystal is our Rottweiler buried.
Oh.
And then as soon as I put the aereo packs on top of her grave, underneath the crystal, I saw Bella, our Rottweiler, walking as plain as day through one wall and into another.
Oh,
so,
wow.
That was a powerful, oh, yes, this is working.
Absolutely. That's fabulous. Thank you for sharing that, Don. And I will get back to you either later today or tomorrow early.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you.
Yes, Patricia, Faust.
So I'm curious, when you're talking about the nodes, has Thoth said anything about a procedure or a process for how to access those?
No, he hasn't, but that's a good question, because the new one, one of the new ones is in Crest. I mean, in this area in here.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Again, that's something else I want to find out about. A process. Well, if you're actually with a node when all of this is happening, I'm just receiving that it's important to be there. I mean, if you feel guided, it's just being there and feeling the energies of it and going with whatever inflow comes out of you in that experience in time. And so, in addition to finding out where the Australian one is located, I'm going to ask those, of course, where there's a point where the obviously where the Crestone. See, this is going so fast. I'm sorry. This is going so fast for me. I haven't even had a chance to get into all of this. Go ahead, dear.
So I have a feeling I may know where it is, and Michael took a picture of it for me. So I'll describe it to you in greater detail and try to get you a picture.
Okay.
It actually looks like a giant dragon head rock. And my intuition is telling me that that's what it is, because Michael and I had a really powerful experience there.
Okay, well, certainly share that with me, and we don't have a lot of time to work on it, but we'll do it. We'll find out these locations, and I'll get it to both of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Bill. You gotta unmute.
Okay.
Everybody else, please turn off their mics. Thank you.
This unfallen star in the belt of Orion, Thoth named Sekhmet. And that forms an equilateral triangle with Rigel and its twin star Sirius in Orion.
Okay.
All right, so the question would be then, this in relating to the Orion Belt, where that Sekhmet is this whole dynamic gate and all the rest of it, temples and so forth, channeling through the star up in the belt as part of the upgraded new streaming then coming down from the Pleiades and that Umaga way down through Sirius.
Yes, as you were asking the question, Thoth was showing me a big billiard table, but only within the sky. You know, it's like turned up this way so you can see the balls this way. The balls were the stars, you know, and it was showing how somebody was hitting one ball, a cue ball, and going dong 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 dong. It was just lighting up all these fields, and this is what's going to be happening in our reality on the H. Is this lineup is just going to come steering through, and some of these things happen every year, but not all of them. A lot of this lighting up has to do with bringing the flame, the Syrian flame, to Earth, basically. You know, really bringing it to Earth.
So the Sekhmet star up in the belt is the cue ball for the pool table.
Let me take a moment. There's a pause here. No, it's not, but it is a main activator. The cue ball comes really out of the eye of Ra. It's a quotient. It's like a string of numbers. It's a light mathematic, and it's triggered through the Sekhmet star and through all the rest. It's like it moves through. So the Sekhmet star is one of the main, or the main one, that is really generating the energy for it to be able to move down the line. A lot of these things are.
Right.
Are you
That kind of, you got it, Bill? Okay. Anybody else? Giving you a moment to ponder. Well, then, how do you feel personally? Think about this, about how you relate to this Syrian white flame, what it might mean to you. I know I just read a whole bunch of stuff and you can't remember all of that, but as I was reading it, I'm guessing that you were feeling the energy of it. So think about how you, in your daily life, can promote this flame. So what is the flame really saying to your heart and mind? You know, its basic energy has to do with purification. It's a breath. It's a white flame with it, in a way it's like grace, but not quite, because the grace factor is instantaneous, and the white flame devours the excess baggage, shall we say. I mean, some people might call it evil, some people might call it karma. Dross is a better word. But as it's devouring it, the physical body of the individual is usually recreating that, because the magnetic power in the body is so strong. It's like it's saying to the body, you're not going to be able to survive without this, because it's literally stripping white flame is literally stripping away a level of. Could you all turn off your mics, please? When I hear myself twice, it's hard enough for me to put two and two together.
It's Rob.
I think it's Rob.
Yeah.
Rob, could you mute your mic, please?
Yep.
Thank you. What's the stripping away? Oh, stripping away a level of your magnetic body. And the body guards the magnetic zone, its magnetic levels like crazy. It just says, no, you can't have it. It's mine. It's my survival kit. I'm not going to turn it loose. So when the white flame starts stripping away very precisely that level of the magnetic field that's holding on to these old programs, the body just recreates it. It just says, okay, you can have it, but I'm just putting it right back. You know, that's that. And that is what is so difficult for us to get away from these patterns and programming. I mean, there's a lot going on, obviously, so much. This is one snapshot, but it's a very important snapshot, because if we could literally turn loose of that and not recreate it, you know, I mean, one swipe of the Lionsgate Sirius, you know, through the center of galaxy and all of this, that would just end it. I mean, we'd be clear of all of that, and the Earth could get onto its real business. Because Thoth has shown me how, you know, there's two things going on here that are really constrictive to us. One is our own mechanisms that we keep, you know, the separation thing, and all of this that builds up, and some souls get so fractured with it that they become what we call evil, but they aren't. It's just they're creating evil energies, but they're not evil themselves. And then, you know, even just us, we have a hard time with all of that stuff, you know. And that's one level, and that goes on the planet. You can see it all the time on the news and everything, all this going on. Then the other level is more hidden, but it's very powerful, and that is what Thoth calls now, he calls the archonic cloud. You know, the archons are in the Bible or whatever, supposed to be the evil ones and whatever. Thoth just speaks of the archonic cloud as containing very, very half-light, intelligent forms. They're not souls like we understand it, but they can give souls energy. So that's why he calls it a cloud. You could call it something else, but that's the word we came up with together. And that archonic cloud comes from somewhere else. It's not our stuff. It's stuff, but it's not ours. But it's part of the conflagration of the separation of energies that is part of the terror in the Eye of Ra, whatever that was, that Thoth has not enlightened me about yet. So this little cloudy area influences us because it has strong magnetic influence. So a lot of the really, really bad stuff that's going on, and people that are breathing in that and becoming evil and, you know, in the way they act or whatever, doing atrocities and whatever, that's really coming out of the archonic cloud. Yes, those souls have weakened their spiritual self enough to be able to, you know, be influenced by it so extremely. But if we could get our own fields adjusted in the trifecta, then this whole archonic cloud business would become a whole different kind of reality for us. And we could look at it and just move it back. It wouldn't be instantaneous, but it would certainly be revealed for what it is, you know? And that's kind of happening now. In a lot of ways, the edges are beginning to curl, and these things are beginning to move into that direction. But also, as we become more aware and enlightened on that matter, even if we haven't received the Syrian flame to the full degree, on the other end of the picture, the archonic energy can't find a foothold because the magnetism changes to higher vibration. So that starts drifting away, and that means that we are more able to receive our true selves. And we still have karma there, but it would be so much easier to manage without this other stuff, you know? So both ways, it plays both ways. And right now on our planet, there is this energy war going on, in the sense of redefining who we are and saying, I no longer choose to partake of that. And that's why everything seems to be getting worse. because it's just coming undone. It's coming undone. It's just like that science fiction movie with those big worms crawling under the earth, you know, and all of a sudden they spring out of the ground. Well, they were there all along, you know. Now they're springing out. But once they're out, it can be transformed. Now, I was speaking to someone the other day who said, you don't want to transform these things. You don't want to redeem them. You want to destroy them. They're evil. You must destroy them. And I have to say that I don't agree with that. And neither does Thoth, or at least what I received from the Thothic streaming. Everything is redeemable. It's all energy. And you cannot cut off your hand or your nose or whatever and say, well, I'm through with that. It just doesn't work that way. Everything has to be redeemed, has to be taken into the sacred breath, exhaled from the sacred breath, and taken in again. And that is why we're in a place right now that we feel is so disconnected. It feels like some kind of weird science fiction movie, you know, with what we have in our hierarchy of government and all of this is like, this can't be real. But it's been real a long time. And we made it real, so we can make it unreal. And that's where we stand right now. So anyway, back to the Lions. This one is a really, really big event, I feel, from what I've received from Thoth and what I've put together from all of the material I've received in the past. But it's not going to do it on its own. The flames are in the temple, will be in the temples, so to speak, the nodes of the earth. They're just going to sit there if nobody accesses them, because Thoth has made it clear that these are not running flames. That is, they're not circulating through the planet. They can't right now. Maybe they will eventually, but not now. They are isolating in their places. They're like in protective envelopes. And when you have the heart cord, the what do I want to call it? The numeric in your heart opens up, the light mathematic, to receive one or more of the temples, and you'll receive different ones at different times. You start taking in the flame from the various temples. So now, do we have anybody else who'd like to talk? Yes, Patricia Faust.
I'm so far away from my mouse right now. Any advice on time of day? Like if I'm going to go to this Dragon Head Rock, is there any particular time of day on the 8th?
On the 8th. Yeah, that's a good question. Well,
Is it 7th or 8th that's the partial eclipse? I think that's tomorrow, right?
yeah, but the 8th is the day that we have the actual gate. He's suggesting that you might wait until the 9th or 10th because this is forming. You don't want to just, it's when we set dates for things and the way we see them in the sky, the astrological positions and all of this, it's real, of course. It's real for us, and these are the dates that he's saying. But we have to realize that this is our hologram, and a lot of these things are working, have been working for a while, and they're just being fed into us in a teeny little stream on that date. So the bigger picture has already been forming and will be forming after that date in the whole holistic view of it. So Thoth gives us a date, the astrologers give us a date so that we can kind of cue into it, but it's bigger than that. So he's suggesting that you wait a day or two, or, let things kind of work into the fabric. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
And then time of day, well, he's saying either just after sunrise or just before sunset is actually the best because you have especially like here, places that have a lot of crystal in the ground, mountains with crystal, because the crystal is going to be activating it more and forming an opening, a space for conscious reception. So either just after sunrise or sunset.
Okay. And by the way, this particular location, if we had Anthony and Michael, you could get there.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not that hard if you had the guys on either side of you.
Uh-huh.
For me, it's like a 10-minute walk.
Okay.
But
well, let's see if that's the place. I don't know yet. When you send me pictures and stuff, I'll pass it by Thoth and
I'll do my best.
okay. All right. Is anybody else? Oh, you don't even. Oh, yes. Tony. I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Ooh. No, we can't hear you, Tony. Did you unclick your mic down there? Can you type it? If you type it, it'll come up in text. Your question. There's a little bubble. You see the little chat bubble? You can type it in there. Let me see if I can unmute you. I should be able to, because you show yourself muted. So let me see if I can unmute you. Hold on. Tony, where are you?
Was unmuted and then she muted herself.
Yeah, she accidentally muted herself. Yeah, let me see. I can find you. Maybe I can unmute you here. Let's see. Unmute. Okay. It's not unmuting when I click it. So she's got something going there. Well, you can just text it, honey. Oh, you don't know. Okay, I can't. you can't type it in? Type it in there? You can't. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a little bubble there. You just open the bubble and you type it in. You see it? The little bubble.
Of your screen, it says chat.
Oh, I think you can talk now. Give it a try. No, it's no. Okay. Yeah, you can try to. Oh, did you? Let's see if you put it in there. No, I don't see it. Just see type in here. I'm going to put type in here. No, I can't hear you. Give it a try. See if you can do that. And while you're working on that, oh, I heard something.
She
No.
just needs to turn her volume up.
Oh, yeah, I can't. I still can't hear you. I'm sorry. But work on it. Maybe you can figure it out while we're talking. I was going to say, is anybody else near one of the nodes? They are. Let me see where I have them written down, but I don't have them here. I'm trying to think where they are now. I wish I'd had that present. Oh well, I can't tell you where they are right now.
To remind you, we have a solar and a lunar eclipse.
When is the solar?
The solar is after the solar is before the lunar.
On the same day?
The moon one is first, and then the sun one is the next, like several hours later.
Really? Wow. Talk about powerful. Yeah.
When is the full moon? Is that close by, the full moon?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's the 7th. Isn't it? Or the 8th? It's coming
Well,
up.
it's the 7th here in Australia, and I woke up last night and the moon was so bright coming in my room. So, yeah. So it's all these things coming together. No wonder, Maya, it's so powerful. It's incredible, really, isn't it?
It is. This morning, I always wake up before sunrise, and I looked out the window, and I could barely see it because it was over on the corner, but my gosh, the moon was huge. I thought, it looks like one of those moons they paint in scenes, and you go, that moon never gets that big, you know? But it was enormous. So, yeah, really. Oh, here, we've got some, here. She's saying, or someone's saying, Dawn is saying, the nodes are Easter Island in California near the Donner Pass, Egyptian pyramids, Mexican pyramid, and she can't remember the other one. And I remember the new ones. You know what? I'll be right back. I have it right here. Okay, it was easy. I'm gonna read them to you. Okay. Right here. Okay, here we are. Near the Euphrates River in the Middle East, within the Shasta matrix of California, and in this instance, it's a portion near Donner Pass. A yet to be located temple within the Mayan complex of Chichen Itza in the Yucatan, Easter Island, and somewhere in the Himalayas of Tibet. And the future, and that means coming up, at least will be set before 2019. We have the Dead Sea, then the one not far from Brisbane in Australia, and then in the Sangre de Cristo mountain range, San Luis Valley. Now, Thoth is telling me that this one in the Crestone area here is going to come online with the rest because it has to do with the crown chakra of the Ascension Temple, which is here. So it's going to be the first one of the new ones to come online. Then we have I'm trying to figure out where's the next one. Temple. No, Dead Sea, near the Dead Sea, Brisbane, Australia, and Sangre de Cristo and San Luis. Yeah, that's it. Those are the 3 new ones. So those are the areas. So other than being here and in Australia, is anybody else near any of these other ones? I don't suppose. Just wondered. I guess not. But Thoth is also telling me that they're okay, wait, there's something else he's sharing with me here. Well, while those are the main nodes, there are places that are, what do I want to say, harmonic with the main location. In other words, there would be a lot of those places. And if you wanted to, you don't have to physically go to a place, but if you really wanted to check out the energy, you could just, wherever you are located on the planet, you could say, just go into your inner being and say, where could I most access this energy? And on the date of the Lion's Gate, or even, it doesn't have to be, really he's suggesting a few days after, or even further after than that, you can go to one of these points. And you really need to be led to these, because these come out of the synchronization of your own inner being with the land. So in other words, let's say 3 people that live in the same area might be guided to 3 different locations in the same area. And the location of person A would not line up with person B, because they're accessing it from the energy of their own inner spectrum. And these places that do that help the person open up to that field, open them up to the nodes on the planet of the temples, you see. So that's another aspect that could be developed for any of you if you wish to pursue it. Well, we've gone an hour, but hey, I'm here if you want to go a little longer. It's fine with me, but I've talked myself out for now. I need some questions or somebody just, sharing. Okay, we got hands. Let's see, Deborah Dineker.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for that beautiful Lion and Sekhmet Temple series. I'm listening to the meditation a couple of times already, and it is just, it's gorgeous. And I'm just
thank you. Well, all of you, thank you, Deborah, so much. All of you, it is for my portal members exclusive, but I also, when it's a series, now I'm putting it for, for purchase on my list page. So it's available there as well, the series of the Sekhmet temples. So, what I'm going to do is let me find that page, and I'll put it right in here for those of you who might like to access it. I can get it really quick, I think.
Unjung.
Oh, Unjung. I'm so glad you're here. We're almost toward the end, but I'm glad you're here nonetheless. Okay, let's see. I'm almost.
Just something that might be of interest is I've got it written.
Yes.
On the Saturday, next Saturday, and leading up to it, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think there's going to be a huge meteor shower, which will be seen all over the world, I think.
Oh.
The Perseus.
That's another dynamic to throw in there.
Yes, thank you. Was that Rex?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I'm still looking for this link. I've almost got it here. Where's?
I believe the meteor showers are on the 12th.
On the 12th, okay. Then that's going to be in the European arena, and that you'll be able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Where is it? It should be right here. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to put a link to this page of my series that are available for non-members to purchase. And of course, members can find them all in the portal. If I can ever get back to you, I've got so many windows open here. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the chat box. Here we are. That's the page.
So Maya.
Yes.
Oh, you said a lot. We said a lot. Can you, in 2 or 3 sentences, say what we should focus on for the Lion's Gate? Really concise.
Oh boy. Yes.
Sure, you know the date.
Yes, I will. Give me a minute or two.
Okay. All right. It's important.
Mm-hmm. It's a time to be prepared to turn loose of even the deepest parts of your magnetic field that are holding you back. And do it not with trepidation, but with the graceful breath of angelic assistance. That's the way Thoth is putting it. And that's on a very personal level.
Thank you. That was beautiful. If you would actually, if you can remember it, it'd be really nice to put that back on Facebook.
You know,
Write it down. Tricia, write it down for me. You're good at that. Write it down for me, what I just said.
I got most of it.
Second,
Huh? Because I can't remember what I said.
you said turn loose of the deepest parts holding you back with grace. That's all I could get.
Oh, and not with trepidation, but with the breath of angelic assistance. Yeah.
Okay, Edie, you can give it to her. You got it.
Yeah. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Tricia, but you're usually the one that can whip up things real fast.
I think I got most of it. A time to be prepared to turn loose of the deepest part of your magnetic field that is holding back. Do it not with trepidation, but with the graceful breath of angelic assistance.
That's it. That's
Very
it.
good. Thank you.
You got it. You got it. So
It's all
if you,
those years as a journalist writing fast.
oh wow. Well, Deborah, will you like send that to me? Or can you put it in the chat box here? And I can just pick it up. That little chat box. It's cut paste.
That's no shorthand.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Just do it at your own timing here while we talk.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Just talk.
Yes, Tony.
Now can you hear me?
Yes. We can
Okay.
hear Tony.
I'm not surprised. In my system, I wanted to record the session because I know I'm going to be referring back to it several times. And I can't do both. I can't be recording and speak.
Well,
There's
you don't
nothing I
have
can
to,
do about it. It's
because I
one or the
record.
other, right?
Yeah.
And none of the commands will work on the screen for me either when I'm recording. So
Well, don't worry about it.
that's it.
I'm recording it, and you'll get it. I'll put it
Oh,
out.
good.
Tony, are you on Osiris Arising? The Facebook group?
No, I'm not. I've been following your work for about 15 years, so
Oh,
I
wow.
basically know what's
So
going
you're
on
on
in
my
most
list.
quarters.
You're on the list that I put out of announcements and stuff, obviously. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll
yes,
put the video link on that list too, so you'll be able to have it. Everyone.
Great. And I never know quite how long that might take, and it's upon us now in these next 2 days, so that's why I wanted to really have the
Yeah,
recording.
no, I'll get it.
But
No,
what I wanted to say, and it may be still relevant, is I'm just very aware of the profundity of the opportunity that's here before us over the 888 and for the next few days. So as I was reminded in a conversation with Bill and Edie this week, I see each of us as being a node. Each of us is already a temple. And from that perspective, whatever it is we choose to do and be, to join in and merge with this activity over the next few days, I'm considering that it might be beneficial to be adjacent to, within the sight line of, set an intent with a water body, so that what we're receiving is taken into Gaia, into her whole consciousness, therefore making it available to everyone. So I'm just wanting to drop that little pebble in the pool about the importance of water with this work now.
I like that, Tony. It really resonates. And as you're speaking that, here we sit in Crest, Colorado, myself, Patricia, Bill and Edie, Ray, I think that's all of us. And we're on top of the largest aquifer, I believe it's the largest aquifer in the United States. Is it something like that? And of course, there's crystals under there too. So the water's washing over the crystals. So that's something all of us might consider too. I mean, we don't have surface water a lot here, but just we really are floating on a lake. As I sit here, I'm on top of a huge lake that has crystals in it. So that's a really good. I like that. Yes, water is the sacred medium. It flows through everything that we possess.
Yes, and as we feed that into the water bodies, then that opens us up again to continually be that receptacle. And my experience has been that our intent is so potent now, it's so amplified, that anything and everything that we set in place. So we don't really have to know where the water is. It's if we simply name that that's our intent, is to insert all that's moving through us in ways that benefit the entirety of the planet through her water bodies and her consciousness, something along those lines. But I'll just put that out there for reflection for everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, because I totally feel that, the reality of it.
Maya, real quick, I'll let you know that the quote is now on the Viber.
Oh, good. Thank you. And we have it here. Yeah. Okay. We have 2 places. That's great. Thank you both. Yes, Patricia Faust.
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I've been getting information about the upcoming solar eclipse off the internet, and it's actually here Mountain Time. It's in the States, it's August 21st.
Wow.
Between 10 and 11 a.m. And the trajectory you can find, and I'm not sure if this is accurate, but I think it is. It's pretty much only seen in the States, and it's got this arc. And
it goes
here,
across the whole continent, and it's one very rare.
So the bottom of the arc starts around, down around Florida, and then it arcs up through Colorado to the northwest. And in Crestone, we're in a zone where it's 80% full illumination, I think. So if we wanted to be in 100%, we'd have to go probably up into Wyoming.
Ah.
But I did check that.
Well, 80% is pretty good.
yeah, it's not too bad. And we're having a water blessing here with one of our Synergy members. So that's happening too. And I just wanted to it's just one of those what ifs, but I pay attention to the earth energies here. And that's how I find the dragon rock and the whale rock. And I mean, there's even a dolphin rock here, which everyone would love.
Yes.
There is on Challenger, the sacred mountain.
Crest in the stone, yeah.
Yeah, the crest in the stone that the chamber's in. On either side, left and right, there's a little notch. Not the big V, Bill, but there's a little notch from a certain perspective. And not long ago, Michael Agape and I were driving home, and we saw a dust devil that went from the valley floor all the way up to the top of a mountain on the opposite side of the valley. And for those who don't know, this is kind of a circle, and our side in Crestone is the feminine side of the mountain ring, and the opposite side is the masculine side. So it looked like a road going straight through from the bottom to the top of the mountain, and we made a mental note of where it ended. And lo and behold, I just put this together. There's a single notch on that mountain, just one little divot, I think they line up like a triangle. And it's quite possible maybe the node's over there, or there's some kind of interesting energetic that's happening. And someone's knocking on my door, so I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that info. Yeah, it's a treasure hunt. Yes, Bill?
Maya, can in 2 lines or thereabouts, can you connect the Lion's Gate and the Sekhmet Gate? What do they connect, and what are they?
Yeah, okay. Well, the Sekhmet Gate is the cosmic, in the cosmic realm, The Lion's Gate is our interaction with the Syrian, energies with the center of the galaxy and all of these other things that we've been talking about that set up. So the Syrian Gate is in the hierarchical level. That is the mastermind of releasing the potential of this energy field. But the Lion's Gate is what we have in our perspective that lines us up with that. You see? Does that make sense?
The Lion's Gate.
Here and there, yeah. Okay, thank you.
So you're saying the Lion's Gate aligns us with the Syrian Gate?
Yes. But yeah, that's a real simple way to put it, which is good. But I was just trying to show you how all of it falls into place. But that's a big topic.
Yeah, thank you.
Maya,
Mm-hmm.
what I understand about all these pyramids and power centers around the earth is that they are like acupuncture points for the earth that brings the energy and channel it deep into the heart of the earth, to the mother, And also, like the pyramids, they are holders of information, because the pyramid itself, by its form, is a powerful co-created system.
Yes.
And everything that is in the geometric divine alignment is like the flower of life. We are within, when the flower starts opening, I saw it as this is like the cross that unfolds within the cube, and is perfect. It's like, that's when they said that we have to get out of the cube, get out of the matrix. So in aligning ourselves, in bringing that information, like one of the goddesses here was telling us about, we are the nodes, we are the temples, we are the sacredness, and we are part of what this is, the living library.
Yes.
And what I understand to myself is that the tiara of Ra is related to when the living library was affected. In a sense, it was kind of broken, and it was before humanity was truly allowed to be the full divine human.
Mm-hmm.
We were the Homo sapien,
Yeah.
and that's when, part of this, what we call the Orion, the dark side, or the dark energy, or whatever it was, came to participate in this creation, because everything is a co-creation, and we all decided to participate. So I know that I cannot go to any of these places. And so I always try to be, because I know that it's a living library, and part of what I call my soul is my information cloud, yeah? And we are connected to the Mother Earth. And the Mother Earth, because she's our power holder to me, like she holds my roots. And as I connect with her, I connect with the roots of all living things on this earth, the crystals, the minerals, the plants, the birds, because it's like the trees that expand, and they are absorbing the sun rays, to transform it and create all of these living things. So in everything, in the animals, and I see more and more and more, even the animals having these higher sensitivities and
Yeah.
conscious, because it's like lately I can see these totem animals, everywhere, and I'm like, wow, it's like they are in front of me.
Well, even my cat Moo. I mean, we've been together, but since we've gotten to Crest, he has like absolutely bonded with me far more than he ever has before. He follows me like a little puppy. He lies here. But it's more than that. I say something to him, his back is turned to me. He's walking away. And I say, Moo, now I don't want you to get on the chair and eat my chicken. And the kid goes back like this, and he looks at me, and he turns and walks away. And he hasn't even gotten to the chair. It's just one thing, but you can feel, when you're talking to a person, when they understand you, And it wasn't just the tone of my voice. It was a very specific thing, and I never said it before in that particular way. But it's spooky. And I know it's not just him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share, you know, that I don't feel bad because I can go to these nodes or to the pyramids or to anywhere, but I know that where I am, I set my intentions. What she said just corroborated what I was receiving while I was listening to you talking about all of this, and I didn't put it into words because I'm kind of shy. So but it's such a good confirmation that yes, what you were receiving and you didn't express it, somebody else came and said it, and it's wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, it's like, you know, Thoth refers to the realm that we came down into the more physical experience from as the lotus. That's where the souls gathered first, like above the primal earth, and he calls it a lotus with the root coming down into the earth. And then many of us decided to descend into that realm, and then others said, well, we better help them out, let's go too, and then they came down. But you know, so that was what formed us. And now he talks about the pyramid's radius matrix, and that's a name he gave me because I said I cannot possibly say this other name over and over again or spell it over and over again, so please give me something I can use. So he gave me pyramidus radius matrix, but the true name of it that he gave me originally is the La Shan Ka Ra Lotus. So now what we're doing is we're creating this platform, this lotus, for another lotus reality that is the in-between again. From Rigel to the lotus realm to the earth, now from where we are now to the lotus realm back into Rigel into the new Earth star, as far as the planet is concerned. All the different star beings that are here with us will, you know, all of us, many are from different star places. That doesn't matter. If we're part of the earth, we're going where the earth's going. So, but that's the lotus. You see, it comes down and goes back up. So you were talking about the flower, you know, that's the flower of life. Really, in the context of what we're speaking here, that's the lotus, you know, that Thoth refers to. Well, yes, anyone else can say? Yes, Donna.
I was just going to ask, with the white flame of Sirius, does our Akash, our own personal Akashic record that holds our karma, is that held in Sirius energetically?
That is a really good question.
Because if that's the case, we could shift so much SHIT
I can
with
spell.
these energies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Okay, I know that our karma is connected to it. So let me just go into that in a moment. Well, he's saying that it's red. It's not contained like there. It's red. It's like a record, like in a library of energy. And so that is within Sirius. You could picture it like, you know, this library with the halls and the light writing on the walls and everything. You could kind of see it that way in your mind. And in that we have our impressions, you know. So it is written within there. That means it is a living energy connection. So if you went into the hall and you the Syrian hall, let's call it, or you could and you decided to rewrite your Akashic or to change it, if you had the intention and you really worked with it diligently, out of heart, spirit consciousness, you know, not some kind of a voodoo thing, but your true self, you could do that, you know. And also with this white flame, if we can develop ourselves so that we don't recreate the magnetic sheet that it takes away, just let it take them away and don't recreate it. You know, that too does the same thing. It takes the writing off the wall, you know.
Thank you for that. Great.
Tony?
One more thought on that very topic. When you first introduced that aspect to today's call, it immediately called me to be very aware of my responsibility and accountability for what follows after this immersion with the white flame and the trifecta. And as well, taking into account your comment, the reminder that, of course, all can be redeemed. One of the initial thoughts I had that I might consider doing, I'm certainly going to explore this more deeply, is that after experiencing the white flame, that I could be doing something along the lines of stepping fully into my power and naming the fact that I am a divine being, that I am sovereign, and therefore at my command that any energies, any frequencies that then wish to recreate their presence within my field can do so, but they must use only the new coherent harmonics that are now being delivered by the angelics.
Very good. I like that.
Something of that nature.
Yes.
So it was just one way, just a quick thought there about, like, I guess the point that I'm making is that I'm really hearing that I have a responsibility and accountability for stepping fully into my power with this one and co-creating with the inner planes, again, this profound opportunity that we have here that's being so amplified for us.
Absolutely. And this is a really good point, Tony. It's beautiful what you said, and everyone can work with their own worrying, but that's the energy that needs to be expressed. And this is about responsibility and addressing that, because every single one of us, we can't do anything for ourselves without doing it for the planet. I mean, in regard, either if it's harmful or if it's in the light and the frequency of love, So we have an opportunity here not only to bring this into our experience, but what was the last line of Thoth's statement? He was a question to all of us. Let me see what it said here. He said, I got all my pages mixed up. Here it is. He said, he said, the opening of these templaric nodes will allow the trifecta to dwell within the temples. And he says the trifecta, it is the white flame, but it's through the trifecta. In other words, this is a point I need to make right now, is that white flame will be in the temples, but you see the white flame is like in a grid. It's like it's like a gemstone in a setting. And the setting is the trifecta. That is the energy pattern that brings all the three together into the white flame. So that's why he's referring to it as that. He says, the openings of these templaric nodes will allow the trifecta to dwell within the temples for those who are drawn to receive it. Who among you might carry this flame forward into the world? Who among you might carry this flame forward into the world? That question is indicating we have a responsibility to do just that.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to also honor the contributions that we shall call the half-light, the shadowed side of life within this experience. The contributions that of all of those frequencies, all of those energetics, those harmonics toward the atonement that's already done. Yes. So that's why I prefer to step into an accountability with a more redemptive and a welcoming and a forgiving and loving options whenever I have an opportunity like this.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And there's so much fear right now, that certain people are translating. Well, I had a kind of a wake-up call, and I want to put it in certain wording so that parties involved are not brought forward here, but I had a wake-up call with a realization that someone who was talking to me and was stressing how we had to destroy the world, that there were millions of people that were tuning in to that program of consciousness. And I didn't, I knew that people that had the boxing gloves on, but I just didn't realize there were that many. It's very popular. It's very popular. The wars, the info wars, the war, of course. And I knew it was there, but I didn't realize the gravity of it and the immensity of it. And that kind of set me back a little bit. But Thoth was telling me, he's saying, well, this is the wall that's in front of you. It's the wall that's more. This is the way he put it. Let me get it right here. He says the whole elite thing and everything that's controlling the earth and controlling the economy and controlling Trump and all of this stuff, that looks so negative and so awful. Yeah, it is, but it's a house of cards. You pull one little card out, it falls down. We're just about to get that tip of that card and pull it out. However, when you pull that down, what do you have in front of you? You have a really big brick wall. What is that wall made of? It's made of fear from the people. We all have a little fear, but we're talking about fear that says we gotta fight it out. We gotta find every one of them. We gotta kill them. We gotta, that kind. The demons are loose. Oh my God, the demons. We've got to stop the demons. That is the wall, the toughest one to come down. When we pull the house of cards down, we go, oh, SHIT, look at that, Then we've got this wall to deal with. We can get through that too, but we don't tear it down. We transform that, and we have to transform it with love and helping people with compassion to find their spirit being, and that means the ones that are being tagged as the demons too. I don't mean get all warm and fuzzy with everybody, but I'm talking about true love, the love that's powerful, that has the sword in the hand, but the sword of light, and that is what we're being asked to do. And that sword is going to have to be wielded on those who put up this wall in fear. And certainly that is symbolic of someone we know. But, it's a wall all fear has constructed on the planet. So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on and on, but that really hit a word for me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think most people on this planet now are unable in their present state of mind to see the Christ in the other.
Yes.
And so, it's our job to be in demonstration of that illusion, mm-hmm. and that there is only love. Mm-hmm. So, Course in Miracles work here, that, it's all this, the victimhood and all the fears, death, you name it, all of that is just a perception of the mind.
Yes.
So it's my job to be love and only love, and have people say, gee, you look so happy. How come? How come you're always so joyous?
That's right.
That's a great opening. You can do it one at a time, one smile at a time, one heart at a time. The domino effect takes over.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Tricia, were you going to say something?
Yes, it reminded me once again, and this has been coming up for me for the past month, is the past, present, and future thing. If you're living in fear, you're living in the future, because that's just future thoughts.
Yeah.
And our whole goal is just to be in the present, be here now, in this moment. And if you're here right now, and this is the trick, this is the hard thing, to be here this moment eliminates all fear.
Yeah.
All of that just disappears, or it's something from the past is going to yank you in a whole nother direction. So at this time, it is imperative to be here now.
Yes, absolutely. And that's difficult for me. I have, with the ADD kind of thing that I have and all of this, I'm in my adrenals running 60 miles an hour all the time. It's very difficult for me. And I'm being called now more and more to just, how did I get that? I can't see that. What? I got to fix it. And I'm going, I'm going. And all of a sudden I realize I'm holding my breath, and I have to stop. And I look out I have blessed with a beautiful view of the Crest and the stone here. And I just have to look out there, take a deep breath, and just be in the moment with the mountain or a bird in the tree or something of nature, just something. And I just feel it all just leave, all of that. Got to fix it. Why won't it work? Da 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 da. All the little brain tremors, and it just goes when I connect. The trick is to keep that all the time while you're doing what you need to do. Absolutely. Well, my lovelies, if there isn't anything else to say, unless somebody else has something, otherwise, I see your staff moving on. Oh, wow, you're really prepared. You got the sword, light, staff, everything. We've been going on a while now, and I hate to say goodbye, but I'm getting hungry. So I'm going to conclude, but let me stop the video to make sure I have it. Stop recording.